Good morning, and let me take this opportunity to extend my personal warm welcome to the dignitaries on the dais, all the partners of Bhoochetana Plus, and also the farming community members from the two districts, mainly Bellary and Kolar, who are the representatives of the farming community in Karnataka, for whom we all are working to ensure that what the subsistence agriculture they are doing at the moment is transformed into a enterprise and run like a business model rather than a subsistence model. And for that, whatever is required in terms of the technologies, knowledge, advice, and putting forward the forward and backward linkages for ensuring the available inputs and also the markets for the produce what they produce. That is where these particular programs will be working, and I welcome you all for this one. As Dr. Krishnappa has indicated that the specific objectives for the today's function are, don't put it on the slide more on that timings. Who asked you to do that? What we are looking at is that we will be launching a very innovative extension system for strengthening the government of Karnataka's initiatives, that is the Bhoochetana and Bhoochetana Plus. And we have observed that the main reason for the yield gap, what we are observing on the farmer's field and what is potential available, basically is largely due to lack of knowledge about the new technologies, the new varieties, and the availability of the required inputs at the right time, at the right place. And that's where this particular gap of knowledge, which results into the yield gap, we are proposing to be met through a efficient extension system which government of Karnataka has initiated using the farm facilitators concept in the Bhoochetana. We would like to strengthen it further, bring the new technologies at the disposal of the farm facilitators as well as the Department of Agriculture officials, and there will be little slight change of the roles the department is playing in this particular model. Instead of executing themselves all the extension activities, they will be more of the knowledge providers as well as the facilitators, and also ensuring that quality knowledge is passed to the farm facilitators. Instead of doing their job themselves, which is not possible to reach millions of farmers in the Karnataka, this is the model which we are looking. And what we have christened this is the Krishi Gyan Sagar, about which my colleague Dr. Dilip Kumar will brief you before the launch. Along with that, we are also launching Krishi Wani, and this will be a messaging system which will be a voice messaging system in Kannada, and this is one of the objectives of this particular extension system, that how we can make it sustainable also, and more details will be provided. In addition, today we are also launching another 2 watershed projects which are not out of the mill watershed projects which are run at the moment, but these will be something plus watershed. The current watershed model, which is a livelihood approach, has been adopted after the comprehensive assessment which ICRISAT took up for the government of India, and new guidelines have been released in 2008 November encompassing the livelihood approach. But we would like that livelihood approach to be taken it further in terms of managing the water resources in an integrated water management mode, so that all the water resources are taken care, and not only the rainwater is taken care, where we will be targeting the reuse of treated wastewater or safe use of water, wastewater in agriculture also, and other micro enterprises. We would also be looking forward for this initiative basically to enhance the awareness amongst the policy makers and development investors for convergence. So here we are really trying to bring the two major stakeholders in the development arena, that is the industries as well as the government departments, to sit together and work together to benefit the farmers by pulling their resources of technologies, knowledge, finance and everything together, and that's where we are proposing that through public-private partnerships we can definitely enhance the impact of the development initiatives what we are taking you. So this is about the objectives of the today's workshop, and I would like to give you a brief about the projects or the GoK initiatives with ICRISAT, what we are working on, and what we basically are looking at is how we are working in the Bhoochetana, where the mission is basically, the background I can tell you that up to 2008 the agriculture growth rate was stagnant, and as you know, Karnataka is almost number one in the dryland state, because in Rajasthan the new irrigation systems have come in now, and the area under irrigation has increased in Rajasthan, whereas in Karnataka the rainfed area remains constant. And in that case 60% of the people have their livelihood dependent on agriculture, and if agriculture doesn't develop, then the 60% of the people are below the or missing the development benefits which are available for the city folks and others. And that's where the mission of the Bhoochetana program as such was to touch the lives of millions of farmers in the state of Karnataka by enhancing the agricultural production by 20% in 4 years, that is 5% per annum, across the rain-fed agriculture in these districts. And what we have achieved, if we look at the phased manner in which the program was implemented, starting in 2009, we started with 0.2 million hectare, and by 2012 we reached to 3.73 or 3.74 million hectare, and the districts were from 6, it has reached up to 30 districts. And the main component in this one basically we brought in was of the farm facilitators, and as you will see during the time of presentation, that these farm facilitators which were appointed, who are the farmers in the same village, but they are little progressive, they are educated up to 10th or 12th standard, and they are trained, and they serve as the link between the farmers and the department for all the new knowledge as well as the information about the agriculture. And that is where we have by now 10,000 farm facilitators to cover the area of almost 5 million hectare now. During the last 4 years, the benefits which have accrued from the Bhoochetana from 2009 onwards up to 2012, out of these 4 years, 2 years were below normal average rainfall. The last year was the worst rainfall year for the Karnataka, where in the month of June the deficit was almost 42% of the average, and by the completion of the season the deficit worked out to be around 35 to 36%. And in spite of that, as you see from the bottom figure, that the percentage increases with the improved management technologies, including the seeds, the soil test based nutrient management and the seed treatments, have resulted into increased productivity at the same level, indicating that whether the rainfall is normal or below normal, it has really built the resilience of the systems in the rain-fed areas. The base yields are lower than the normal rainfall year, but the percentage benefits increase due to the improved management are maintained as such. With 3 million farmers by 2011 and 3.7 million hectare covered by 2012, we have really found that farmers individually are getting the increased income from anywhere from 3,000 rupees per hectare to 20,000 rupees per hectare for a given season. If the farmer is cultivating for 2 seasons, then the benefit is double. If farmer has a supplemental irrigation and going for the 3rd crop, then the benefits are 3 times. And that's how we found that the livelihoods of millions of farmers who have adopted this particular technology has resulted into 5% rise in agricultural growth rate during the last 3 to 4 years. And that is the state exchequer has got 130 million US dollars extra value of production from the agriculture during 2011 and 100 million US dollars during the year of 2012, which was a deficit rainfall year. The cost benefit ratio is the main driving force which makes or breaks the adoption, and that is where the effectiveness of technologies, whether the farmer will continue next season or not, depends on. And as we see that the every dollar invested by the Karnataka farmer has given let me extend my warm welcome to our Chief Secretary. And there was a small accident, and that's why he was little bit delayed because he has to visit the medical unit for the first aid treatment, and that's why we were not waiting till his arrival, because we knew that he will take some time. So thank you very much, sir, and I hope everything is fine with you. Thanks. So the economic returns on the investment by the farmer, and these investment returns what we have calculated, these are calculated on the full cost of the micronutrients and the seeds, not on the 50% subsidy what government has provided for this particular scheme, clearly suggesting that even without the subsidy thing as such, the farmers will continue to adopt this because the economics is in their favor. Depending on the crop, if it is a high value vegetable crop, they are getting up to 14 rupees for every rupee invested. If it is a crop like pearl millet or sorghum, which doesn't have high market value, then the returns are around 3 to 4 rupees as such. And in between you have number of crops like groundnut, sunflower, maize and other things. In this particular initiative now, we have started our collaboration. As we generally do in the consortium, we start with a very small consortium of without whom we cannot work. But once we have stabilized the consortium and as the demand comes in, we bring in the new partners. So during the last year, we initiated the dialogue with Digital Green, who are a non-governmental organization and have the top-notch expertise in the area of farmer-to-farmer videos for sharing the information. And this particular initiative has been just started in 2 districts during this season, and we would like to scale it up under the new extension system in this, where the farm facilitators are trained to shoot the films in their own villages with the good practices which farmers are doing. Then the backup room does the editing to make sure that the film is for 3 minutes maximum, and then these films are uploaded onto the YouTube, so that across the state or across the world people can download this film, and then through using the Pico projector, which is a battery operated projector without any constraint of availability of the electricity at the particular hamlet where the power is not available, or if the power cut is there, still to a group of 5 to 10 farmers the video can be shown, and at the same time the feedback is taken by the farm facilitators, and feedback also is put online offline platform. So as soon as they get the connectivity, the feedback also goes to the central location, and which is analyzed for deciding which type of demands are coming in, which type of technologies are adopted as such. The drivers of success basically translated the rhetoric of inclusiveness and enhancing input use efficiency into action through science-led research for development by adopting the holistic inclusive approach, working passionately and persistently for productivity enhancement by bringing all stakeholders on the same page, and it's the excellent example of a good teamwork at such a big scale where millions of farmers are contacted by the Department of Agriculture through the farm facilitators with knowledge generating institutions like state agriculture universities, ICRISAT, and also linked with the input suppliers. And that is where the good teamwork has really worked out. Tangible economic benefits to small and marginal farmers, enhanced the adoption rates, and broke the vicious cycle of supply driven approach and established the demand driven mindset, change of mindset of actors. Most of the time the extension workers or the input suppliers or the researchers always think that we know the solution for the farmer's problem. People have no patience to sit with the farmers and really understand. We think that because of the power and because of the 4 years of agricultural college joining, we know all the answers, and undermine the efforts of the farmer who has learned from his childhood till he starts cultivating the land. And that's where the supply driven approach we go, and then the farmer says, I know what these guys are going to tell, let me better do my job so that I can at least be assured of my income, what I am expected at. So that change in the mindset has come in rather than supply driven. Now the whole machinery is responding to the demands by the farmers, and that was one of the best success. So this, what we have achieved during the 4 years is basically now to be consolidated, because the adoption rates we have reached is around 17 to 18% only till now, and we need to enhance it further, and that's where the Bhoochetana 2 program is coming up starting from this year, and we will be addressing number of issues what we have really looked as the bottlenecks coming after achieving the entry point now. So the soil test and the use of new cultivars was used as an entry point to build the rapport with the community, enable them to invest more into the agriculture, and then now we would like to ensure that it is sustainable over the years. We need to address the issues of climate change, and for which we are establishing the climate change researchers network to work out the district-wise strategies for adaptation, institutionalize the process of science-led development and research for development for impact, because many researchers are not tuned for this sort of approach. We are tuned for publishing the papers, releasing the cultivars. We are not tuned to go and work with the farmers to see that what we have achieved through our science is applied, because it needs little hard work. There are things which do not come under the purview of the research, have to be addressed through this model, and that is where we need to bring in that change in the mindset, that we need to bring in the right partners who can address those bottlenecks and move forward the model. Otherwise the technologies sit at where they were generated. We also would like to strengthen the innovation platform and decentralized coordinated extension system. That is where we are working now at the moment, and evaluate the spectral analysis method for soil samples, because that is where the next generation soil analytical tools have to be applied using the remote sensing, where we can be able to assess the soil samples by downloading the data for a particular spectral wavelength from the satellite imageries and satellite data, and that's where we will be starting putting our efforts into this one. So once this was there, government of Karnataka decided that agricultural crop production is on the track. But at the same time, agriculture is not only the agricultural crops, that is the food grains and oil seed and pulses, but it is more than that. You have the irrigated agriculture, you have the livestock, you have the fisheries, you need to have the cooperation, the credit and all that, and that's where the policies, and that's where government of Karnataka has taken a very innovative and bold step to bring together the best expertise of the international centers working in India under the consortium leadership of ICRISAT. 9 international research organizations have been brought together, and this will be basically put in the 4 benchmark sites which are representative of the 4 revenue divisions and ecoregions in the state of Karnataka, and we will be working as a complete systems approach, whether it is livestock, whether it is agroforestry, whether it is farming systems, or whether it is rice or maize or wheat or wasteland rehabilitation, or the Food Policy Research Institute will be addressing the impact as well as the pathways of impact and the policies needed for bringing in the impact as such. So these are the initiatives which we are taking up with government of Karnataka, and that's where we thought that this would be the best opportunity to bring in the public-private partnerships and also come up with the new extensions model what we are looking at it. Thank you very much.